Hey, 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 welcome back to the channel. If this is your very first time here, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we are always bringing you the freshest, most detailed, and most exciting BTS news on the internet. Okay, guys, today we have a story that, honestly, sent every single army on the planet into an absolute frenzy. People were screenshotting, making threads, blowing up group chats, all of it. We are talking about a moment that happened in Tokyo, Japan, specifically at the iconic Calvin Klein Harajuku flagship store on June 4th, 2026. And this moment involves two names that need absolutely no introduction: Park Jimin and Jungkook, two of the 7 members of BTS who share arguably the most legendary chemistry in all of K-pop. And on that day, something happened that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. So get comfortable, grab your snacks, and let's get into it, because this story is so much bigger and so much more beautiful than you might expect. Before we dive into the main moment itself, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because without this context, you won't be able to fully appreciate just how epic that moment truly was. Everything starts with what is arguably the biggest fashion collaboration of 2026. Its name, Jungkook for Calvin Klein, or as the world now knows it simply by its initials, CKJK. If you've been following Jungkook's journey with Calvin Klein, you already know that this relationship goes all the way back to 2023. That was the year Jungkook was officially appointed as Calvin Klein's global brand ambassador. And from that point on, everything changed. Every single time Jungkook appeared in a Calvin Klein campaign, products sold out within hours, across 172 countries simultaneously. No exaggeration. In fact, when Jungkook attended New York Fashion Week for Calvin Klein's Spring/Summer 2026 collection, a single Instagram post capturing his arrival at the event generated a media exposure value of $825,000 US. From one post. Let that sink in for a second. But 2026 is different. Because for the very first time in Calvin Klein's 58-year history, an artist didn't just star in their campaign. They actually co-designed the collection itself. And that artist is Jungkook. The CKJK capsule is a limited 20-piece collection that officially launched on May 19th, 2026. And everything about it is deeply personal, inspired by one of Jungkook's most talked about hobbies, riding motorcycles. Jungkook got his motorcycle license in South Korea back in 2022, and since then, his love for riding has been documented all over his Instagram and on the Disney Plus reality show Are You Sure? The show he did with fellow BTS member Jimin. And now, that passion has been immortalized in an iconic fashion collection. So what's actually in the CKJK collection? We're talking charcoal leather trucker jackets with Jungkook's name embossed across the back in bold white lettering, low-rise baggy jeans in unique vintage-inspired washes, biker detail racer jackets, graphic tees, sweatshirts, and exclusive underwear featuring Jungkook's own handwriting on the inside. Prices range from $29 to $699, and the entire collection sold out within hours of going live online. As part of the promotional rollout for this massive drop, Calvin Klein hosted a series of immersive pop-ups and exclusive events across major cities worldwide, from Los Angeles and Singapore to Thailand, Sydney, Melbourne, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Shanghai. And one of the most prestigious events of all was held at the Calvin Klein Harajuku flagship store in Tokyo, Japan, on June 4th, 2026. This was the first physical CKJK event in Japan. This was a big stage, and Jungkook showed up. Now let's get into the day itself. And trust me, the energy was absolutely electric even before Jungkook set foot inside that venue. Word that Jungkook had flown abroad started spreading on social media after photos and videos surfaced of him departing from Gimpo Airport. No official confirmation, no announcement from Big Hit or Calvin Klein. But ARMY, as always, was already 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Within hours, hundreds and then thousands of people began gathering outside the Calvin Klein Harajuku flagship store. The streets of Harajuku, already one of the most vibrant and colorful places on the planet, transformed into a sea of people denser than anyone had seen in a long time. Fan accounts on X, formerly Twitter, were posting real-time updates. Video after video was being uploaded. Hashtags were everywhere. Still no official confirmation. But the crowd kept growing. Because if there's one thing ARMY knows about Jungkook, it's this: he never does anything halfway when it comes to supporting his own projects. If this was a CKJK event, there was a very strong chance Jungkook was going to be there. And they were right. When Jungkook finally arrived, the roar that erupted from the crowd was so loud it could be heard in videos filmed from a distance away. Fans were screaming, waving, some were crying. That familiar, always moving reaction that reminds you just how deeply people connect with these artists. What made the moment even more special was the way Jungkook showed up. He wasn't just attending. He arrived fully dressed in his own CKJK collection. A blue denim shirt paired with matching denim pants, layered under that charcoal leather jacket with his name in bold white letters across the back. Black boots and his signature silver hoop earrings completed the look. He wasn't just promoting the collection, he was living it. PVH Japan, the official Calvin Klein representative in Japan, even posted on their official social media. All eyes in front of the Harajuku store were focused on Jungkook. Spellbound. Spellbound. And that is genuinely the most accurate word to describe what happened that day. Okay, everyone, this is it. This is the part you've been waiting for. And I promise you, this is not hype. In the middle of all that energy at the Harajuku CKJK event, amid the camera flashes, the press interviews, the roar of the crowd outside, a moment happened that nobody had planned for. Park Jimin walked in. Yes, Jimin. The Park Jimin. The member of BTS who, at that very time, had his own packed tour schedule and solo commitments. Jimin walked into the Calvin Klein Harajuku event, the very place where his younger bandmate, his close friend, his Jungkook, was living one of the biggest moments of his career as a brand ambassador and fashion collaborator. Now, was this a truly spontaneous, unplanned visit? Or did Jimin make a deliberate choice to show up and support Jungkook? In the world of BTS, where the members have always shown up for each other in the most genuine ways, the answer is probably both at once. What we know from fan account reports and members of the media present that day, Jungkook's expression when he saw Jimin was something you simply cannot fake. His eyes went wide. A smile broke across his face, not the polished, professional smile he has for photo calls, but a real one. Spontaneous. The kind that only happens when you're genuinely surprised and genuinely happy to see someone you love showing up for you at exactly the right moment. And Jimin's reaction was every bit as precious. Jimin, always the most expressive, most emotionally open member of BTS, showed this look on his face that was somewhere between proud and completely overwhelmed with affection. His eyes moved from the CKJK collection to Jungkook and back again, as if he was silently saying, "Look at you. Look how far you've come." The fan accounts that captured the moment immediately flooded timelines with photos and videos. Within minutes, tags were trending globally. Jimin's support, Jungkook, Jungkook Harajuku, and CKJK all exploded at the same time. And if you know the history of Jimin and Jungkook, if you know how deep that bond goes, going all the way back to their days as trainees at Big Hit Entertainment, then you understand exactly why this moment felt so incredibly precious and so warm to everyone who witnessed it. This wasn't a PR moment. This was real. Now let's talk about another moment from the Harajuku event that went massively viral for its own reasons, and that's the interview Jungkook did with ELLE Japan while he was there. During the interview, Jungkook was asked about the collection and if there was a favorite piece. He pointed to the black trucker jacket from the CKJK lineup and said that he would love to give one to each of the BTS members, all 7 of them. But what made fans completely melt was how he said it. With that slightly mischievous smile that is so uniquely his, Jungkook said he would put on the full CKJK outfit, the denim, the leather jacket, the boots, all of it, and then ride his motorcycle to wherever each member was, and hand-deliver the jackets personally. Just picture that for a second. Jungkook on a motorcycle, cruising through the streets of Korea, pulling up to Namjoon's door, then Seokjin's, then Yoongi's, then Hoseok's, then Taeyoung's, and of course Jimin. Well, as fans immediately pointed out in thousands of comments and retweets, Jimin is already right there. Jungkook only needs the motorcycle for 6 more stops. That visual, so purely Jungkook, so personal, so warm, so funny, sent fans absolutely wild. Threads were written. Fan art was made within the hour. The clip from the YLL Japan interview was clipped and reposted across every platform. But beyond the humor of it, that statement said something genuinely important. The CKJK collection was never just a business deal for Jungkook. This was personal. This was his identity, his passions, his handwriting literally sewn into the fabric. And his first instinct when talking about it was to think about sharing it with his members. That's just who he is. And then there's one more highlight from the Harajuku event that the K-pop world absolutely loved: the chemistry between Jungkook and Mingyu of 17. Mingyu was also present at the event in his capacity as a Calvin Klein ambassador. And the meeting between these two artists became its own major talking point across K-pop communities around the world. There is one short video that went viral almost instantly, showing Mingyu expressively pointing at Jungkook, then pointing at the CKJK logo on Jungkook's jacket, then pointing back at Jungkook again. That funny, completely delighted gesture was met with Jungkook's most bashful, genuine little laugh. Pure, unscripted joy between two people who genuinely like each other. Fans from both fandoms, ARMY and Carrot, immediately came together and shared excitement. Twitter threads were filled with Mingyu Jungkook photos and videos, captioned with things like "two Calvin Klein princes" and "visual overload in one single room." The two posed together for photographers, two Calvin Klein ambassadors, representing two different groups and two different fandoms, sharing one stage and making it look effortless. Their chemistry, long celebrated across the K-pop community, proved once again to be completely natural and genuinely warm. Now let's talk numbers for a moment, because they are a crucial part of understanding just how significant all of this is. The CKJK collection that launched online on May 19th, 2026 sold out within hours. That's for items priced anywhere from $29 to $699. Pop-up stores were held in Los Angeles, Singapore, Thailand, Sydney, Melbourne, Taiwan, Malaysia, Shenzhen, Chongqing, and Shanghai. And the most limited edition items, particularly the exclusive underwear styles, were only available at 3 flagship stores in the entire world: Harajuku, Soho, New York, and Champs-Élysées, Paris. This is the only time in Calvin Klein's 58-year history that a K-pop idol not only fronted a campaign, but also directly participated in the design process. And the result? A collection that didn't just sell out, but sparked a cultural conversation that went far beyond the fashion world. Calvin Klein's global brand president, David Savman, stated in the official press release that this collaboration brought together two cultural forces at full power, combining Jungkook's unmatched influence with Calvin Klein's iconic design codes to create something with genuine, lasting impact. And the impact was absolutely real. CKJK hashtags trended in 172 countries on social media. In the real world, lines at pop-up stores stretched for hundreds of meters. And in Harajuku, the sound of fans cheering could be heard from blocks away. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to talk about the thing that makes the Harajuku moment truly special. Beyond all the fashion and all the numbers, Jimin and Jungkook have been together since the very beginning. They shared the experience of being trainees. They debuted together. They've been through the hardest and the most glorious moments of their careers side by side. And even as each of them has stepped into their own solo journeys, that thread of friendship has never broken. We've seen them together in Are You Sure?, the Disney Plus reality show where Jungkook and Jimin explored the world in their own unique way, including a moment where Jungkook first shared his love of motorcycles with Jimin beside him. Those moments showed the world that behind all the glamour and the spotlight, these are two people who genuinely, deeply enjoy being around each other. And now, as Jungkook stood in the middle of the Calvin Klein Harajuku flagship store, wearing a collection he helped design, with his own name on the jacket on his back, at one of the biggest moments of his ambassador journey, Jimin was there. Not for the cameras, not because of a contract, not because management told him to, but because that is what true friends do. They show up. And the look of genuine surprise and pure happiness on Jungkook's face when he saw Jimin, that expression cannot be bought by any marketing budget in the world. That expression was real. And it is precisely because of that realness that this moment went so viral, was so deeply loved, and will be remembered by ARMY all over the world for a very long time. So, guys, that is the full story of what happened at Calvin Klein Harajuku on June 4th, 2026. A a fashion event that is already historic in its own right. But that will ultimately be remembered not for the sold-out collection, not for Jungkook's stunning presence, not even for the incredible moment with Mingyu, but for the look on Jungkook's face when Jimin walked through that door. Because at the end of the day, behind all the glamour and the spotlight of the K-pop world, the most beautiful thing is always genuine friendship. And BTS, in all the imperfection and beauty of their journey, has never stopped showing that to the world. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps this channel grow more than you know. If you're not subscribed yet, the button is right down there. And hit the bell so you never miss an update. And if you have anything to add, any thoughts, any reactions to this Haruyuku moment, drop them in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, take care of yourself. Show up for the people you love. And as BTS has always reminded us, love yourself. Purple Heart.